So welcome back to the interview series that we're doing. We're here with Alex Giaimo, and then we also have Michele Drapinski from DCI. So welcome.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here.
Me, guys.
This is day 3. This is the last day of Mint Collective. So I'd love to just get your impression.
Thank God for that. This is the best show ever.
It is,
but
for sure.
I'm so tired.
Yes,
Like,
exhausted.
what's the shot?
But it's the last day, and you got this. So we're going to power through.
Yeah. As soon as I get lunch in, then it's like time to party, meet more people.
There you go. There you go. So give us your impressions of the show so far.
Honestly, it's just like, it's better than expected. Like I know collectible people, better than most. A lot of them are my friends, and I think the way they put everything together, the way they did, is kind of a miracle. Like this is something that's never been done before, and they got a lot of haters in the beginning when it was announced.
Yep.
But then I noticed a lot of those haters, like some of them were my friends too that were hating, and then they all ended up coming. And then last night I was on Instagram at 3:00 in the morning, because apparently I just never sleep. And a lot of the guys that were hating were posting, I have FOMO that I'm not there. So
Gotcha.
This is more than a card show. It's different. It's not your typical card show. For somebody like me, I love it because it's all about networking, meeting lovely women like you who are new to the hobby, and making it like a family environment.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a really cool thing. What has been your personal favorite thing? You've gotten to do a lot. So, I mean, you were like, the official host of the show or one of?
Yeah.
You've been moderation panels. You've done a lot of stuff. So what's your favorite thing?
I mean, this is going to sound so cliche, but yesterday I went to the big Peyton Manning panel.
Yep.
Uber, Brent Montgomery from Wheelhouse Productions. Listened to it. It was incredible. And then, coming out, everyone was trying to see and meet Peyton, obviously, because he's awesome. And I was like one of the only girls there, women there, right? And he made it his mission to like make eye contact with me and like make sure he knew that I knew that he saw me, right? And then he came up to me, introduced himself, and made sure my voice was heard amongst all the men, and spoke to me about the industry and about sports entertainment and changing the trajectory of how TV is produced, during sporting events.
Yeah.
Which is what he's doing and what I'm doing, and hopefully doing it to a grander scale as the years goes on. And so for me, that was like one of the most pivotal moments of my career. He was awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So awesome.
Now, correct me. Now, do you still do broadcasting? Because I know that you did that okay, so you are still doing that as well.
I do a bunch of random stuff. So random. Like, I'm hosting for the American Kennel Club. I have a show for them, doing sideline reporting. For pro rugby, for MSG Network. I also host Twitch watch parties for Major League Baseball. I have like 1,000 jobs right now.
Got it.
This is obviously my favorite and most important. And then I have something else coming up, very, very big, but I signed an NDA. And
Got it. We'll find out soon, is what you're telling us.
I'm busy, and finally, because I literally went a year without working after COVID. I lost all my jobs. So
Gotcha.
It feels good finally to have money.
Yeah,
slightly.
we all need that to survive, don't we?
SLABS, right?
So you can buy your cards. Yes. So very cool. Michele, go ahead. I know you had some questions for Alex.
Absolutely. So I would love to know how you got started in the hobby, and then how your experience has been specifically as a woman in the hobby in a male-dominated space.
I love this question because, well, one, I've been working in sports TV for 10 years. So after COVID happened, I was working for the New York Mets and for the NBA 2K League as their esports reporter. I lost all my jobs, could not buy a job, could not buy anything. Went into a super big depression. One of my friends is the producer of Card Talk, the Card Talk pod from 1:37 p.m. Gary Vee's company. And I just started listening to it and I fell in love with it. I've been a collector since I'm a little girl, Pokemon, Lion King cards, everything, Pogs, Beanie Babies.
Oh, Pogs! We need to bring back Pogs. Can we bring Pogs back?
Yes, I have
in the Slammers. Remember? Yeah.
And I have the most incredible Beanie Baby collection. I have like 5,000 of them, and they're all in mint condition.
I still have one,
and they're worth nothing. They're worth nothing, and I'm like, God damn it. But yeah, so I just started and I said to myself, like, wait, I think there's something here, because no offense to not everyone, but a lot of us in the hobby are kind of boring and dry, and we take ourselves way too seriously. And I said, this needs to be injected with a little more personality, and I thought it was a perfect way to sort of bridge the gap of traditional media and me being me and doing what I want and saying what I want and not being a robot cheerleader girl that all these male executives have tried to get me to do over the last 10 years. So I immediately started working from there for Collectible, and then Ken Goldin contacted me, and now I work for Goldin Auctions as well, and Ken, which I learned an incredible amount from. But back to your question about being a female, I think I have a different experience than everyone else because of my resume. I think that a lot of guys have been respectful to me, but I've also dealt with a lot of crap and a lot of bullshit like you and everyone else does. Clearly, I've learned to ignore it because if I don't, then I'm never going to go anywhere with it, right? It's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I made an Instagram post yesterday. With every no, there only needs to be one yes, and all the rejection that I've had and all the bullshit and harassment that I've had from pro athletes to we're talking the CEO of billion-dollar corporations has only made me stronger. So I've learned to embrace it, but I will not tolerate it for everyone else. Like every other female here is my friend, and I will throw some punches for them. But I think people like me and people like you are, doing a lot for this space, which does need more female presence. And we don't want to just be a prop. Like I don't want to just be up here because of the way I look. Although right now, no one.
Hey, it's Sunday morning. There's no.
Like, I want to be here because I have a voice, and I know sports better, if not better, than most men here, and that's a damn fact. And I think people are finally starting to recognize that, and it feels good.
So along that same line, what do you think has been your biggest challenge? Again, as a female, I like to hear a lot about the female perspective here. So your biggest challenge in this industry as a female?
Every time I do something and a male meets me, I hate that word male, a guy meets me, a man meets me, they're like, what? And then they say this, wow, you do know your sports. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I've only been the host for the sideline reporter for the Jets, the Mets, the MLB. I've done everything.
Do you feel like you need to be on the offensive?
I always have to explain my resume and list it down before I talk. Every time I meet somebody new, every single time. And then I have to prove myself again. But now I'm at the stage of my career where I don't care anymore. Like, believe me or don't believe me, I know exactly who I am, and people that know me also know. So, yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting, and I get it from both ways because there's a lot of jealousy in this hobby. We need, like, as much as we all love each other, we're very competitive people as well. So I'll say this to the women in the hobby, like, we need to do a better job of supporting each other too. Right?
I will say you're the second woman that I've had the opportunity to talk to this weekend, in this setting, and both of you have been lovely. So I've really appreciated that.
Me too.
And then I do have one final question for you because I am so new to the hobby. I would love to know if you have any advice or, tricks of the trade that you'd like to share with me.
About what?
About just like how to move forward. Like what's my best path forward?
So what do you do in the hobby?
So I just started learning about everything. DCI is kind of teaching me every aspect of this.
I would say learn before you spend $1 because I have spent, it's different for me because I have spent like thousands on just hobby boxes of, Bowman cards and whatever, just to open them, rip them, and learn from doing that, right? But I can also use that as content, chop it up, and use that on social media platforms and everything. So it's sort of like a business expense. But I also bought some expensive slabs, for me, $500 and above, that I shouldn't have. I should have learned more before I did the slab thing, right? Because it is an investment. I guess learn on the fly, but do as much homework as possible. I love to listen to podcasts. I love to listen to Mike Giuseppe on sports card nonsense, stuff like that, card talk. But also sports in general. If you understand sports in general, you can kind of get a good grasp of how the hobby works. Not everything is like that, but if you know a player is good, or if you believe in them and you think the trajectory of their career is only going to go up, it's pretty easy to take it from there.
Okay.
So we're in the middle of making a kind of cool series to our YouTube, From Noob to Pro, for Michelle, right? From Noob to Pro. And so we are building that out for her. And so her first show was the last Dallas show, buying a couple of her first cards, going through that kind of stuff, coming out to this event, doing more, buy some, buy, sell. And we've been chronicling all of this information as it goes on over time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, everything I have not sold one card yet. It's all, I've spent thousands, but they're all sitting on my mantle because I haven't had the time
Too busy.
to do it. So I would also suggest like getting cards and don't sit on them. Don't keep them. Make a profit. Like make a profit. Like even if you sell a card for 80 and it's worth 100, take the 80. Like put that 80 into a bigger card.
Okay.
A more valuable card, and then keep building to get like your grail, what everyone says. I don't like that word, but like, you know, don't sit on your money. Don't have your money sitting on your mantle doing nothing. Take it and use it for the better. I'm giving advice that I also don't follow.
But it's helpful
But
advice.
because I don't have
It's
time, but if you do have the time, do that. Because that's
What is the card that you're chasing? What do you really want?
I'm a big vintage baseball girl.
Got it.
My father has like an amazing collection, so I would like a Ruth, like, is it Goody or Gowdy?
Gowdy.
Gowdy.
I believe that's how I say it. Yeah.
Love like one of those square Gowdy cards that was in 1933.
33. Yeah.
I want one of those, maybe in 20 years.
Okay. Maybe you'll be able to truncate that timetable.
Yeah.
You know, keep blowing it up. So
If I don't have kids, I'll be able to afford it.
there you go. Yeah, that's a good point. Social media is obviously one of the big things where everyone seems to see you, right?
There is no way this hobby is where it is today without social media.
Correct. What advice do you have on building your social media? Or actually, I guess I don't really know. Going back a year ago, how is your social media different,
Come
right?
to events like this.
Okay, got it.
I'm different from everyone else because I'm hosting it. I've already gained like 2,000 followers.
Just this weekend.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be more today because you meet people, you make a connection with them. I like to treat people. I don't care who the hell you are. I don't care if you're the security woman outside who I love.
Yeah.
She's just as important as Josh Luber or Peyton Manning. Like,
Sure.
So every time someone comes up to me and introduces themselves and says, "I'm a fan of yours," which makes me so happy. Spend time with them, make a connection, and remember their names and faces. And then those people will be your best friends on social media because then they'll share your content because they like you and they want to support you.
Yep.
And it's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I like to take care of people who take care of me. So that's like sort of I don't know if any of that made sense.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Networking and just being good to people.
Yep.
And don't post every 5 seconds. A lot of people in the hobby oversaturate. Like, yes, quantity is good, but quality, in my opinion, is most important.
Yeah. So speaking of quality, I know started with collectible. That's how we first met back at the National. Now you're doing stuff with Ken Goldin.
Did you have the cigar in your mouth?
No, that might have been Brad.
Definitely.
He's got a beard too.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of these really high-end pieces that you've been holding recently.
Yeah.
You're out there with the white gloves, keeping them clean.
It's so cheesy. I love it.
but how does what's that like for you to be able to go and see some of these incredible pieces?
The other day I was holding, I don't know if you've seen on Goldin, the MJ sneakers, the rookie year.
Yeah.
Like the Air Force One.
Yeah.
They're like already up for like $800 right now.
Wow.
It's just like, so I think sports memorabilia, and this is another piece of advice I give to you. I love cards. And I know this is sacrilege, but to me, memorabilia, game-used memorabilia is so much cooler. And I think that it hasn't even hit its peak of value yet in the hobby. It's only going to skyrocket. Like, I would rather have a game-used pair of Michael Jordan shoes that was actually used to change our history than, a card. That's just my opinion. And I think the value of them is only going to go higher and higher and higher. Same with like something like Type 1 photos, that's an actual moment in time.
Right, that you can't get back. You can't recreate them.
But holding all those items and the stories that go behind them, I love storytelling. And that, as a traditional sports reporter, lets me, bridge the gap a little more by doing that. Because I get to talk about the game, like I did a Joe Montana game-used helmet.
Okay.
That was the last time he ever wore the helmet as a San Francisco 49er. And it was pretty cool. He threw like 4 touchdowns and they won the game and came back.
That's cool.
Like that to me is like history.
Sure.
So,
yeah, speaking of that, we just in our second major full-length podcast, we talked about the Tom Brady last touchdown ball.
If you who fell for that?
I don't know. I mean, they paid $500 and some $1,000, and then he unretired like 24 hours, not even 24 hours
later. But at
later.
the same time, everyone was like, I feel so bad for that guy. It's like, don't. If you have $500,000
to spend a football,
then you're doing okay. 1, 2, he kind of deserved it. How do you think Brady's going to retire? Everyone in the hobby fell for it too.
Correct, yeah.
Everyone.
Yep.
Did you?
No, I didn't. I felt like there was no way
baby.
that Brady may go out on a loss. I'm not saying he may not end it.
Like that.
Not like that.
He wants the Derek Cheater tour. He wants all of that.
Correct, yes.
And he should get it.
Yes.
But like, stop punking us, or
Right.
enough.
So, what do you have going on the rest of the show?
Right.
Final day, like
One,
what's?
I need to go upstairs and put makeup on.
Sure, got
One
it.
wants to see me this way.
Well, our fans do, and they are.
Hi
So,
guys, I can't wait to come to Dallas. And I'm sure you have way more fans than that. By the way, you're gonna send me a copy?
then just what, the 3?
No, then Dallas.
Yeah. So,
What'd you say? Kidding. I'm just like running around today. I think I'm meeting with Josh Luber.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to him about the zero pool thing. Say whatever you want about it. It is going to change the landscape.
Sure.
He has so much influence. It's like kind of crazy.
yep.
Panini, I got to hang out with them a little bit. And then I'm literally going to spend some time like going up to each and every table and shaking every guy's hand that I haven't met yet. And saying
Very cool.
hello.
Nice. That's awesome. That's really good.
Because I
So,
haven't been able to like actually do that or enjoy myself yet.
okay.
In terms of not working and not being on camera and stuff. So I'm just gonna like be me. Maybe
Yeah.
grab a drink.
Well, make sure you check out the custom art store, the section that's over there. There's some like,
section?
like the custom art, like the people that are doing
I
art.
haven't gone- I'm
It
gonna
is
spend a lot of time over there.
incredible. Some
Yeah,
of the
I'm
work
gonna
that
spend
these
a lot
people
of
do.
time
So
over
whether they're taking multiple cards, putting them together, or painting on top, it's just really
Oh
cool.
yes, we're doing a segment with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, very cool. So, what is your opinion on card grading? This is obviously one of the biggest things that's happened for both us as a company as well as so many other companies. Card grading, good, bad. What you
I
got?
think it's great. It's great, right? But for someone like me, like it's just so expensive, and that's why I like what Peter Steinberg and SGC are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. But obviously PSA is known as like the guy.
Sure. Yep.
But it does make your cards look pretty, and I don't know. I don't know how sometimes a thing gets a 10 and the other one gets a 9, and it's just two guys in the back deciding it.
Yeah.
They have a lot of power, these companies.
Correct. Yes, they do.
ton.
Yeah. That was actually one of the conversations. I did the moderation for that panel with Peter and everybody, and that was one of the main questions: is how do we know what we got? So it's
How do you know that it's not like a rigged system?
Right.
Right?
Correct.
I guess we should just trust
Controlling
that.
of population reports, that kind of stuff. But those questions did get addressed in that.
Yeah,
so
but did it? Did
Yeah,
it? Good.
yeah.
But I'm also curious and interested to see some of these robots now that are doing the grading.
correct. Yeah.
To me,
I think Kevin spoke a little bit about that.
Correct. Yeah, they did.
What
So.
do you think about that?
You know what? So interestingly enough, little side note, we actually had our grader go against AGS. Have you seen AGS? Automated grading systems?
Yes.
And they have a
That's
full
what I'm
robot.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And so we graded a card, had them grade it, and both came out the same, which
Okay.
actually was phenomenal to see that both the human grader and the machine can still be
Yeah.
there. Because that is the worry, is a machine takes over and all of a sudden, 8s are no longer 8s and that should be a 7.261 and you're like, well, wait a minute. So you can get the same results through both
It's sort
processes.
of like what MLB is doing with like umpiring. Like in 2 years we might have robot umpires behind the plate.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that because I think too much of the game is decided at home plate, and it maybe just in the playoffs at least,
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
World Series. Like I don't think a game should be decided by a mistake.
Or if you're the Buffalo Bills, it gets decided by a coin flip. And that was such a disappointment. So what do you see from the market in the next 2 to 5 years?
I think once it hits mainstream media,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope to be a part of that, it's gonna explode even more.
Sure.
I just hope we don't go a little too crazy. And obviously the influencers are great for the hobby. I don't consider myself an influencer. I think what I do is super.
But you did get the best influencer of the year award last year, right?
I yelled at and my guy Cagler, he's like one of my very good friends. And
Yeah.
But that made me feel so good. I was
Sure,
like, oh,
yeah.
People do
I mean, you beat out DJ Ski and a couple other people.
I'm sure everyone just did it as a joke, but
I don't know.
But it was fun. I met Ski yesterday. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I met him in the green room too.
But yeah, I think once it hits mainstream media, like you saw how crazy we all went over Drake, which is, to me, I don't actually really like that because then that deters celebrities from coming into the hobby. They don't want to be in a fishbowl and stared at like everyone else. Like,
Sure.
I mean, like not everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, so I hope we harp a little less on like obsessing over that. I also think like the flawless game and the breaking thing, it's a little bit of a spectacle. And, like, I think the breaking game is going to change dramatically now that Fanatics is here.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to your original point. I'm really excited to see what Fanatics is going to do.
Gotcha. I know Upper Deck has a unique approach where you can have packs opened. They open them digitally, but they coordinate to a real card, and so you can have the real card then sent to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Fanatics
So
can do
like
anything like
an NFT.
No. So they open a pack digitally, but the real cards are behind it, essentially. So then you're like, okay, cool. Like I got a cool card. I open it on my phone, and then they ship you the actual cards that you open, which is cool. So it's not a digital NFT in the end. It's still physical, but the pack was open digitally for you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And so you
if
can
they
go
did.
in, so you don't have to like pay like high prices. You pay the normal price, have access, and
What
Upper
if they
Decks.
do that and the card they send you is like, you know, in terms of centering, it's like a 2?
Yeah, well, that would suck.
Or
Yeah.
will they all be 10s?
No, I don't think they are. Yeah, I think it's still. So it's like I think they already have them set aside in the
Everything's
vault.
going digital.
You know.
It's a really good point. Everything is going digital.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, I think that's the big
and
feature.
I think the NFT crypto game will affect the hobby a lot more within the next year.
I wouldn't be surprised if they incorporated the NFT into that system, the digital system. So they send you the card and you
That's
do
what
also
I'm,
have the
that's
NFT.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to gain from the NFT world into sports cards.
Yeah, like the
So.
NFT universe meta, what the record passes. Do you have one of those?
No, I don't.
It's another Gary Vee thing.
Okay.
I bought one for like 300 and sold it for like 1,000 like 2 days later.
I
don't understand where the money comes from.
Yeah, I passed on buying V Friends and I kicked myself. I listened to Gary for probably 5 years.
I put in like they went for what 2,200.
Yeah, something like that.
I
Yeah.
put in a bit of 15.
Okay,
now,
got it.
And now all these guys who are extremely wealthy got like 4 of them, sold them for 50 grand.
So yeah, so I
let's
looked.
keep getting rich.
It was
That's
about
a big
$4
part of the
grand.
Industry that
It was about $4 grand when I could have bought them directly. This was when they were still in the auction part.
Oh, really?
It was quick buy, and now it was
now
about $4
it's 10,
grand.
now it's
And
11.
the base is 14 Ethereum, so I don't know, 60,000. Yeah, missed on it.
What?
Missed on it.
one box?
Yeah, that's just the cheapest one that you can get for the V Friends now. Yeah. So, and that was just they dropped in
do something
August.
bad.
They dropped in August, so it's been 9 months. But you know, it's okay. We live and we learn. So.
Your friends didn't drop in August. I thought they just dropped.
No, not the boxes. I'm not talking about the boxes. I'm talking about the actual NFT that goes with it. Those dropped in August. Yeah.
And those will only go up. I thought we were talking about different things.
Oh yeah, you're talking. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
my bad.
no. And those are another thing that came out.
Oh.
The real NFTs that
Those
Gary
will
Vee
only
dropped.
go up more and more and more. But I think
Correct.
Generations 2 is coming out soon.
Are they? Okay. Gen 1 is where you got to go, OG.
I know.
So I don't have 60 grand anymore.
Unless you're
So,
very big. You know he likes you.
True. Alex, where do people find you? Where do they follow you?
Alex Giaimo on Instagram, Twitter.
Okay.
I got to build up my TikTok.
Your
That's what all
TikTok.
that's what all the kids are doing.
TikTok is where it's at. We have
Yeah.
50,000 some people on
What?
TikTok. Yeah, that's our jam.
I might need you to give me a
So,
shout out. I
yeah.
have like 400 or something.
Okay.
I
Well,
posted like 2.
we'll put this up on TikTok.
Thanks
and
for having me. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You're the best.
Safe trip back to Dallas.
We'll do our best. Thanks, Alex. We're out.